Welcome again to Crypto Dairy. So, what is the DAO in blockchain? How does it work? The term DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous and can be described as an open-source blockchain protocol governed by a set of rules that are created by its elected members. And it can automatically execute certain actions without the need for any intermediaries. So just to clear up some basics, the platform where the DAO runs is called a blockchain, and the most common case where the DAO can be written is the Ethereum blockchain. And in Ethereum, they are written in the solid language. Number 2, an organization that is governed by a code that is decentralized, open, and transparent. Now, if the system is well designed, the organization will organically evolve towards achieving the common goal. But how does a DAO work? Well, for the same, in this video, I'll be sharing several examples that illustrate the type of problems that DAOs can and is particularly equipped to solve, and will address various misconceptions that surround DAOs as we go. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you will have a clear idea of how it works, at least in the high-level example. Now the first example is a DAO that's called DAO, and it's confusing. I know that it is one of the earliest decentralized autonomous organizations built on Ethereum. And to define it simply, it's a decentralized venture capital fund to fill in the pointers. We discussed this a minute ago. In this case, the group of participants is investors who have a common goal of maximizing the returns on their funds. The governance of code works as the smart contracts are built on top of Ethereum. Shareholders will be asked to vote on the blockchain. People who hold the tokens decide which startups to invest in and how much to invest in. The more tokens a shareholder locks up, the more voltage he has in the vote. Once the votes have been recorded, the smart contract will automatically allocate funds based on the vote results. Because every line of code in the blockchain is transparent and immutable, participants can be confident that the vote results are fair. Now you must be thinking, how does this differ from a traditional venture capital fund? Well, traditional venture capital funds have the principal agent problem whereby my agent, I mean, both of the directors and the principal, I mean the investors who have money in the fund, takes action on behalf of the principal, but the agent's actions are more incentivized by his or her self-interest than that of the principal. In other words, the board of directors does what is best for themselves as opposed to what is best for the investors. So do investors directly vote on projects that they want to be based on how much they have X or tokens they hold? However, while DAO was a good proof of concept, it failed because of vulnerabilities in its code, which were exploited by hackers to steal more than 50 million worth of Ether. This failure showed a fatal flaw. While the open-source nature of DAOs makes it transparent to the community, it also exposes DAOs to attacks by hackers. The hack was so influential that it greatly led to the hard hook of Ethereum. Most of the Ethereum community agreed to roll back the blockchain to its previous state before the attack, while most rejected the rollback and insisted that the code be locked. And now the former group is called Ethereum today, while the latter one is called the Ethereum Classic example. Number 2 is making a DAO, while the DAOs failed. DAOs is not just an abstract concept as of today. Perhaps the most well-known example of DAO is the Maker DAO, which is sometimes also called a maker project, and which currently has a thriving and rapidly growing ecosystem. People from the Maker DAO project have the common goal of creating a stablecoin DAO that can be used by anyone anywhere. Anytime the governance involves decisions on a variety of parameters, such as what collateral can be used, how much debt can be issued, and how much peace can be issued, that ensures the stability of the DAO and is done by a vote by Maker holders. If the Maker does it like a company, then DAO is the product. The risk parameters are features of the product, and the Maker holders are the shareholders of the company who vote on how to adjust the product's features. Essentially, one DAO is collateralized by $1 United States worth of Ether, and the Maker holders vote to make a series of decisions to ensure that the price always stays stable and the DAO is fully collateralized. It is very similar to centralized organizations, where decisions like these are made by board members and executives. If a company is public, you may be able to vote by holding stocks or ownership of the company. Similarly, in MakerDAO, anyone who owns a token can vote on the decisions. Furthermore, do note that in MakerD, voting is done through a Maker governance portal, which is a user-friendly front-end to the smart contracts that make up the DAO credit system. To vote here, you need to lock up your tokens, and the more tokens you lock up, the more voting power you will have. The voting results are determined by the number of makers that vote for each proposal. For example, a proposal with a total of 700 makers voting for it, and proposal B with about 300 maker proposals, with the 70% majority voting on the same note. There are two types of voting in Maker D: number 1, government polls, and number 2, executive votes. Polling maker holders will be able to seek soft consensus on the ecosystem's fundamental principles. The first example of this was the foundation proposal that the 5 core principles of MakerDAO be implemented and, through the executive voting process, maker holders vote directly on the changes to the DAO credit system. For example, if some shareholders decide that they want to increase the collateral required to borrow DAO to ensure the stability of the company, they simply put forward a proposal. And if the proposal passes the vote, the smart contract will automatically increase the collateral requirement. The beauty here is that the whole process is automated and no corruption is possible. As the rules of governance are transparent and immutable on the blockchain, they are available to anyone who wants to examine them. As can be seen from the previous 2 examples, contrary to the common misconception, the DAO does not eliminate the need for human input. It is simply a more transparent, corruption-resistant, and decentralized way to ensure the integrity of a system that exists to serve the participants' interests first. In both DAO and Maker, the participants themselves must decide on what to vote for. And the autonomous systems simply ensure that their intentions are implemented with certainty. It is, in some sense, a corruption-resistant democracy, which brings us to the third example, which only exists in the conceptual phase right now. Just imagine a democratic nation where all the laws are recorded immutably and openly on the blockchain. This can be used to automate the process of lawmaking. And when a proposal is made, the citizens can directly vote from their cell phones through a front end that connects them to a smart contract. Once the voting is completed, the laws are automatically changed based on the vote results recorded on a smart contract. There are no elected officials that can act contrary to what the people want. Instead, power lies entirely in the hands of the people. So, regardless of whether you think this is a good idea or not, you can therefore enable the most direct and honest form of democracy we can discover today. If you enjoy my content, please hit the like button. And, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, as it keeps me motivated and allows me to create more content like this for you.